being called, and I think I will answer that call. For 3, 2, 1.
Say when.
Never, John. Bury me in cheese. I apologize.
At some
At
point.
some point, but then he changed his mind, so. Hello, food lovers and movie buffs alike. Welcome to another episode of Film and Flavor. I'm Zain Hassan.
Hello, I'm Ahmed Zayani. Welcome to the Cinematic Cuisine, where we bring the magic of the big screen straight to your plate.
Sheets of egg pasta, bechamel, grated Parmesan, and meat sauce, lasagna. It is a very famous Italian dish, and when we mention it, we cannot help thinking of Garfield, the famous lazy cat of movies and comics that goes absolutely crazy for this dish.
Indeed, Zain. Lasagna is Garfield's favorite food. Did you know that it was first shown in the July 15th, 1978 edition of Garfield, and Garfield remarked that it's nature's perfect food?
Yes, Garfield has loved lasagna since the day that he was born in the kitchen of the Italian restaurant called Mama Leone's, as I remember it, and it has been his favorite ever since.
Now, in more recent years, it can be argued that pizza is competing with lasagna as Garfield's favorite dish, considering how often he eats pizza compared to lasagna, although he still enjoys the latter. Now, how is it today, Zain? How are we going to talk about lasagna?
Well, are you a fan of lasagna, Ahmed?
Absolutely. If it comes piping hot with bechamel, meat, and all the goodness, I'm all for it.
You know what? I'm not really big on lasagna.
All
if I'm
right.
honest, not really a big fan, but I hope today changes my opinion.
I mean, I'm sure Chef Ali has a trick or two up his sleeve, right?
He definitely does.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, you're a fan of other pastas, right?
Yes,
Now, are you a fan of Garfield?
I do. I love cats in general, and Garfield is very cute and very fluffy. I'm a big fan of big and fluffy cats, so.
Of course. And like, how do you compare the movies? Like, because we had the originals back in the early 2000s, and we had a recent one last year, an animated one,
yeah.
yes. So, in which field do you find yourself?
I feel like I'm more into the live action ones.
All right.
I feel like it had more of like a comforting feel to it, mostly because I attach it to like nostalgia and because I used to watch it as a kid.
All right.
So I'd say that I prefer the live action ones. What about you?
You know what? I will go with the live action myself, mainly because you had Bill Murray as the voice of Garfield. I mean, I can't remember the name of the guy that did the voice in the animated one, and he did a good job. But Bill Murray is an icon of cinema. He's the guy from Ghostbusters, from Caddyshack, Groundhog Day. His filmography is stupendous.
It is.
So
He just brought so much character.
absolutely. So when you had his name attached to the film, it added a lot of gravitas, a lot of cachet to the film. And you know what? His involvement actually came by mistake. Did you know about that?
I did not know about
So Bill Murray is a frequent collaborator with the Coen brothers, Ethan and Joel Coen.
that. Okay.
And he's famously known for not having a manager, not having any form of communication with the Hollywood system.
All right.
So when he received the script for Garfield, he read through it and he thought it was something that was okay. But the name of the writer caught his attention and it said Joel Coen. And instantly, to his mind, oh, this is my friend Joel, who I worked with dozens of movies on. So since Bill doesn't have a phone, he couldn't call up Joel and confirm this with him. So he just signed sight unseen on the film. Lo and behold, the guy goes in on set and asks to meet Joel. And he meets this guy that he doesn't recognize. Oh, I'm Joel Coen. And it turns out it's a mistake in the name. So the guy that wrote Garfield is Joel Coen, C-O-H-E-N, while his friend is Coen, C-O-E-N.
Okay.
So because of that mistake,
Yeah.
because Bill Murray did not have a phone, he was stuck not only to do Garfield, but he was attached to any sequel that would come because of that.
That's actually a really cool mistake to make, though.
It
Look
is.
at where it got him. Like,
It is.
I think that's one of the coolest characters Bill Murray's ever played.
You know what? I agree. And like, even if it's something that he himself wasn't a huge fan of, he was able to find humor in it. Years later, he made a film called Zombieland, if you've ever seen that.
I have not seen.
Oh, and in the movie, Bill Murray plays himself. And a big part of that role is that he pokes fun of himself for being cast in Garfield.
Oh, so it's like a satire?
It's it's a
Yeah,
satire slash horror comedy and whatnot. It is one of his more remarkable roles. Can you stomach horror movies by any chance?
I can tolerate them, yes.
Okay, so maybe this might be something you'd be interested in watching sometime down the line.
I'll give it a watch,
Yeah.
sure.
But of course, we have a lot of movies for you to watch before that.
Yeah, but up until today, up until now, Garfield is going to be, it still is, one of my favorite Bill Murray movies. What can I say? I mean, it's just a really nice movie.
You know what? I'll give this to the generation difference between you and I.
Yeah,
Because this is something you definitely grew up with, right?
yeah, I did.
With me, I grew up with Bill Murray and Ghostbusters.
Oh.
So very different productions. But to me, what I love about cinema is that you can have different tastes, differing opinions, and as long as we love the medium, as long as we help bolster people's desire to watch films, go out in cinemas in droves, hopefully, and watch these films, then all is good.
Especially with Garfield.
Exactly. Like for your generation, it actually became a classic.
It is a classic, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I would consider it a classic. I don't know about you, but I would
You know what?
consider it a
I
classic.
have a soft spot for it, especially since I rewatched it and I saw a lot of these actors that we haven't seen in a while. People like Breckin Meyer, who was pretty big in the 90s with stuff like Clueless. Jennifer Love Hewitt, who I don't know anyone in my generation who did not have a crush on her because of stuff like Can't Hardly Wait and I Know What He Did Last Summer. So to see that they're still relevant to your generation and they're being appreciated in that sense, that is so immensely cool.
That is cool, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, Zain, it's funny that Jim Davis, the creator of Garfield Comics, has said that sometimes he wishes he made pizza Garfield's favorite food because it's easier to draw than lasagna.
Well, in an interview with the Huffington Post, Jim Davis actually confirmed his reasoning for the choice of dish, saying how he loves lasagna and he thought it would be funny to have a cat who also loves lasagna. But as it turns out, he's heard from a lot of people that their cats also love lasagna, so it was oddly very common.
You know, I have to put that to the test. I mean, I don't have any pets, any cats, but my friend does.
Oh.
So yeah, and we meet every Thursday after work. So maybe I'll ask Chef Ali to give me a piece of lasagna to see how that cat reacts.
You should give that.
Absolutely.
Garfield's go-to dish has always been lasagna for years. So today, Chef Ali Yusuf will be remaking that dish in the way that he would want it, extra cheesy and with plenty of layers of flavor.
Hello and welcome to a cinematic cuisine of Film and Flavor TV show. I'm Chef Ali Yusuf and today I'll be cooking lasagna from our famous movie Garfield. To prepare the lasagna, let me introduce you to our ingredients first. We have eggs, we have minced chicken, and you can use minced mutton as well. And then we have basils, and then I have fresh herbs, rosemary, thyme, and oregano. Also, we have pureed or peeled tomatoes. And then we have Parmesan cheese, we have pasta sauce, and then we have chopped garlic and onions. And then we have quarter cut mushrooms, mozzarella cheese, salt and pepper, eggplant, and all-purpose use flour. And of course, we have the lasagna sheets and olive oil. So you can see all the ingredients on screen. Start with, you can put the lasagna sheets on boiled water. And then we have the eggplant. We're going to put put salt on it. Just take the water out of it. And then let it for like 5 to 10 minutes. Put it back in there. Then let's do the mushroom. Let's saute the mushroom first. Going to put olive oil. And of course, it's preheated pan. Add the oil. Add the mushroom into the oil. We're just going to saute it with just a bit of salt. And then keep it aside. And then we're going to do the sauce. We need olive oil again. Start off with onions. Now we're going to remove the lasagna sheets from the boiled water and drizzle it with olive oil so it won't stick. Then, followed by the onions, I'm going to add garlic. Keep on mixing. Let's go to the eggplant and get it done with. Just take it out because if you put the salt, the water out. As you see it, we're going to drizzle some olive oil. Mix it along with a little bit of all-purpose flour. We put it in the oven for 5 to 10 minutes. Just change the color on 180 degrees. I'll get back to you shortly. Then followed by, we're going to put the minced chicken. Into it and keep mixing. I prefer on a low flames, as you can do it in a medium too. While that's happening, let's do the cheese sauce now. Cheese sauce, we need 2 eggs. And a little bit of mozzarella cheese. Yes. Whiskey it. And there's your egg sauce, is ready. Give it a side. Let's check on our minced chicken here. It's almost there. Now we're going to add the peeled tomato. Mix it again. Now let's put some herbs in there. And before that, let's take out the eggplant before it gets burnt. Let's put the mixed herbs. Let's put salt and some pepper, just to taste. We're going to mix it, bring it to boil. We're almost there, and now we're going to add a bit leaves of basils, give it the Italian aroma. tear them to half, just put them in there. Mix it a little bit. Then we start the layering. Let's get our baking dish. Got it. So we're going to put in the bottom the chicken sauce as the bottom layer. Then we're going to add lasagna sheets. Followed by the vegetables. Cheese. Be generous with the mozzarella cheese. And then we do that again. Lasagna sheets. Vegetables. Mushrooms. Cheese. Here's our lasagna. It's almost there. Just put it in the oven for an hour on 180 degrees. From there, we will take it and enjoy it with you guys. We'll be back in an hour. 1 hour is finished. Now let's check it out. This looks good. We're going to cut it. It's a small size, that's why I cut it 4 pieces. You can do it more. It can be up to 6 pieces. If you're a fan of the orange cat from the Garfield movie, then you know now absolutely that's the ultimate meal for that little cat. Therefore, we brought it to life in our kitchen today. I hope you enjoyed it.
Welcome back. Here we have the lasagna. Garfield's lasagna always looks so rich and so comforting, and that's all about building the layers of flavor. I mean, just look at this beauty. The cheese is practically melting, the sauce smells amazing, and the layers are practically calling me to have a bite. So let's give this a try and see if it tastes as good as it looks.
I mean, you're not the only one who's being called, and I think I will answer that call. Okay. So shall we do this together?
Yeah.
For 3, 2, 1. All good? Let me get another bite of this. You know what? I think this hits the spot right there, right? You're not a fan of lasagna, right? But how does this feel to you?
I think this tastes very nice, very original. What do you think, Ahmed?
I absolutely do. I've tasted a number of lasagnas in my life, and the biggest challenge is how to make the dish like juicy and moist. I know a lot of people have a problem with that word.
Yeah.
And I think Chef Ali nailed it.
Yeah, he added his own little like magic to it.
And like a quick fix to this is usually adding ricotta, but the way he did it just does not need that.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything is very well balanced, and I totally and completely understand why Garfield is obsessed with this dish.
Oh yeah.
Like, I completely understand it now.
I mean, in the original film, there is a scene where you see Garfield dancing with a plate of lasagna.
I saw, yeah.
Yes,
I remember that, yeah.
It's a very interesting scene, and I
It
can't.
describes how I'm feeling right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you can understand his
Yeah,
love for
I
that
do.
dish,
Yes,
right?
yes, completely.
Oh, absolutely, and it works, and it works in spades. And what I love about a film like this is that how appetizing it makes that dish, almost as if it's romanticized in a way.
I mean, that's the thing about cinema. It over dramatizes everything, and I think that's the purpose of, like, you know, trying to, like, it's like kind of like a figure of speeches, but shown to you.
Yeah.
It's like displayed to you on screen. So it's like a really cool concept, you know, to have like a scene where a character is so in love with the dish that they're eating that they just like music and flashlights and everything, because that truly encapsulates how I feel eating certain dishes at times. Like, this is how I feel right now eating this dish.
You know, it's cool that he brought up the music because they tend to do that a lot in these films. That whenever Garfield is about to munch on a lasagna, the music always peaks in this, let's say, like a romanticized kind of track.
Yeah.
It's out of our hands now.
Where it accentuates his love for the dish, and that really telegraphs a lot towards the audience.
It does. It accentuates the experience, the feeling of how it truly feels like to be in the vicinity of.
I like that. I like it. So in a way, it's a pleasure to be around a plate like this, right?
Yes, it is.
Good. And I think that's something I was missing from the sequel, right?
Yes.
Because
I mean,
A Tale of Two Kitties. That is such a bad name.
It is. It's a reference to a Charles Dickens novel, Tale of Two Cities.
They brought the name of Charles Dickens to shame.
But I thought it was a nice twist, though.
It is what it is, I guess. I can't really hate it, but it is what it is, I guess. But they did have one big fumble, is that they didn't have the lasagna front and center, right?
They didn't?
Not that I remember, no.
I feel like I remember watching a scene in that film that involved the lasagna.
Maybe I need to rewatch then?
It wasn't like a proper scene, but I think there was a scene where you can't have Garfield in a film and not involve lasagna. That just feels wrong.
I mean, Jim Davies wanted him to eat pizza, right?
At some point, but then he changed his mind, so.
Never have I tasted its equal.
You know what, Zane? I'll make this declaration that this right here is a Garfield level lasagna. It's rich, it's flavorful, and if Garfield was here with us, I'm sure he will share a slice with Odie. Don't you think so?
I totally agree. I think Garfield himself would approve of this lasagna.
Absolutely. And
do you approve? I mean, we already know the view. Okay.
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, but see, I do not have the stupendous flavor pal that you do.
Yeah.
So, do you approve of this lasagna?
I definitely do.
That's fantastic.
Me and Garfield have a very similar, very similar food taste.
Do you know?
Yeah. I think, yeah, similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you that. I don't think I'm as selective as Garfield, if that's the case. But yeah, I do think this is a fantastic dish. And Chef, I hit another home run with this today.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think of the sequel of the first live action Tale of Two Kitties? I mean, you mentioned before that you didn't like it as much, and I want to know the reasoning behind that, because I just don't really get your point.
It just felt unnecessary, you know? I mean, they said all that they were going to say with the first.
Of Garfield is never unnecessary. I'd love to see more of this guy every single day.
I will say this, though. I will take A Tale of Two Kitties over the animated version from last year.
So the animated version was that bad?
It wasn't for me. Maybe a younger generation would appreciate it more. Maybe it's the same as the original Garfield, like in 10, 20 years, people will love it. But as it stands today, there are better works out there.
Yeah, I agree with you, honestly. The live action ones are better in my opinion as well.
Absolutely, hands down.
Say when.
Never, John. Bury me in cheese.
We thank our chef Ali Yusuf for making this delicious dish for us today.
And that is all for today's episode of Film and Flavor. I hope you've enjoyed cooking this delicious lasagna from Garfield with us. Tune in next time when we will be recreating another iconic dish from the big screen. Until then, remember, the kitchen is your stage, so make it as cinematic as possible. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.